Stand back and watch a political party commit self-extermination. Welcome to Hurd Mentality. I am Dale Hurd, and I personally watched the Soviet Union implode as a journalist from stations in Moscow and Leningrad, and I know it when I see it. The Democrats are doing to themselves what the Republicans, aptly named the Stupid Party by Republican Senator Alan Simpson, either couldn't or chose not to do because they were playing to lose. I worked on Capitol Hill as a reporter in the 90s, and it has been uniparty theater for a long time, a political version of professional wrestling. But even the likes of John Thune can't save the Democrats this time because the Democrats' next bright idea is to let the party be taken over by communists and Islamists. Here's Bill Maher on Friday's Real Time.
Right before we left, Vice President J.D. Vance was on the show, and I told him that if the Democratic Party keeps going in the direction of the DSA, my vote was in play. And all I heard all vacation was, oh my God, you're a Republican now. No, that's not what I said. I said in play. And here's why. Because not a week goes by where we don't read about some newly chosen, exciting new face in the Democratic Party. And then when that face opens its mouth, the Communist Manifesto or some other crazy comes out.
And that's the mild stuff. They want to abolish the Supreme Court, the Senate, and rewrite the Constitution. I spoke with David Harsanyi, a senior writer at the Washington Examiner this week, who wrote that the socialist revolution will eat the Democratic Party.
So these people are not interested in debate or discourse. They're interested in things like action. And they don't want to meet at some compromise. They want to rule. They care about power. And to do that, you can rationalize a lot. These people rationalize and justify violence to gain power because they think it's worth it. So I would expect a lot more of this, especially as they get frustrated because they can't. The Constitution does not allow them to do the things they want to do. That's why they hate the Supreme Court so much.
Democratic consultant and, can we say, creepy-looking old guy, James Carville, has been blowing a gasket over this for months.
Mr. Valier, the New York Times reported, and I have the quote right here, I'll get to it. She is against passed off all their views. She has attacked interracial relationships in the American flag. Lady, I ain't in the same party as you. I'm sorry. I just not. And I actually do think it's time for Democrats to talk the S word, schism.
I called it many years ago. The Dems would have to split because the far left was headed off an ideological cliff into Marxism, Islamism, vandalism, and terrorism. And the moderate boomers in the party, like the bad parents many of them probably are in their personal lives, kept giving out participation trophies to the young radicals. And now they've created a monster and unelectable candidates. The Democrats now platform and celebrate mentally ill trans people through their relentless pursuit of radical sexual politics. People like this tragic fellow, I'm sure you've seen this, a Democratic candidate in the main primary who wanted to replace Graham Plattner, who, by the way, was not disqualified from being the Democratic nominee because he had an SS tattoo. Oh, no, it took way more than that.
Ashley Webb, what qualifications do you have to serve in the U.S. Senate?
Oh, I ran for office several times. Didn't win, but I did run. And then I'm a songwriter, and then I write my own books. And then I suppose my transparency, I wouldn't lie to the people and I wouldn't deceive the people like we're being deceived right now.
This poor man has been made fun of. He needs friends to share the Lord with him, and he needs psychiatric help. But the Democrats platform this. They have too much hubris, and their moral compasses are too damaged to realize that this stuff horrifies decent people with children. They've lost the working class. It's MAGA now. They're now a party of egghead elites, brainwashed college graduates, radical environmentalists, and people of various alphabet sexualities, as well as Islamists who hate Jews. Democrats could still take the House in the midterms, but it's looking less and less likely. Personally, I think Trump needs to wrap up Iran, find a way to say mission accomplished and hand it off to the Israelis to finish the job. But the Democrats themselves are a mess now. So in debt as a party, they've stopped paying their bills. DNC Chairman Ken Martin is in trouble for throwing his phone at an assistant, and he's described himself as a fire hydrant that dogs pee on. What's coming will be a fitting end for a party that has usually been on the wrong side of history. It was the party of slavery. Could you please remind a liberal friend this week that the Democrats were the party of slavery? It feels like there's been a cover-up. They were the party of Jim Crow, and Democrat policies are still damaging the black family. They've always loved socialism. FDR's administration was full of Soviet spies, Alger Hiss, Harry Dexter White, Lawrence Duggan, who mysteriously fell from a high window after he was exposed as a spy. Later, people like Ted Kennedy tried to help the Soviet Union and communist governments in Latin America. So guess what, Democrats? Communism is returning the favor, and these democratic socialists are going to wreck your party. So my friends, get some popcorn and enjoy the show. If you've hung around this long, thank you. Tell me what you think. Are the Democrats headed into political oblivion, or is their demise greatly exaggerated? Could they somehow come to their senses? We all know the correct answer is no. Please like and subscribe, and if you're able to throw a few bucks my way at Buy Me a Coffee, I would appreciate it immensely. It would help a lot as we begin to build out Herd Mentality into a website, a newsletter, news updates, and a movement. Bye for now.